You always have to wonder the validity of TikTok stories, but if this one was a setup, this girl went the extra mile. MSN.com reports that a woman mistakenly used super glue instead of eye drops that resulted in a trip to the emergency room. The Florida woman known as Lyd explained on TikTok that she accidentally glued her left eye shut when she woke up and reached for what she thought were eye drops. Instead, she had used super glue, fusing together her eyelids and necessitating a trip to her local hospital ER. In the video, we see the woman being treated by hospital staff who tried a number of methods to open her eye, including ointment. "They had me apply an ointment that breaks down and dissolves the glue," Lyd writes in the overlay on the video. She noted that didn't appear to be working, so medical staff had to resort to other measures and started picking at the glue trying to open the eye. Finally, they were able to pry the eye open, and so Miss Lyd came away fine with a story to tell, whether it was pre-planned or not.
If you're gonna take the risk, you ought to at least aim a little higher. The Kansas City Star reports that a deputy out of Johnson County, Kansas, lost his police license after, get this, he tried to fraudulently purchase about $400 worth of Pokémon cards. William C. Knight had been employed with the Johnson County Sheriff's Office for over 3 years when he went shopping at a retail store while in uniform. He went to a self-checkout with several Pokémon card sets and groceries. A security guard became suspicious and approached Knight, who said he had to leave on a call. He was later identified and admitted he removed barcodes from inexpensive items he had at home and fraudulently placed them on the Pokémon cards to buy them at a lower cost. Knight was charged with 1 count of an unlawful act involving a theft detection shielding device, a felony, according to court records. Knight's attorney, Kevin Dillette, said his client was an Iraq combat veteran who was excited to serve his community. Said Mr. Dillette in a statement, "Unfortunately, in a time of severe stress and anxiety, he exercised poor judgment, leading to this arrest and charge." Wait a second. I thought once you swipe an item through the scanner at the store, you can't swipe it again. Isn't that right? His job for $400. He couldn't at least go for some Amazon gift cards or something? Maybe he was hoping for a holographic Charizard and make some money. Wanting to prove a point to his lover during an argument, federal investigators say a Missouri man robbed a bank with a not-so-traditional demand note. Authorities say Michael C. Lloyd entered the bank in Springfield, Missouri, and gave the teller a piece of printer-like paper with a demand note written on it in pink highlighter ink. That demand was later determined to have been written on the back of Lloyd's birth certificate, officials say. Lloyd was given $754, and as he was driving away, he threw his ID card and birth certificate out his driver's side window, records state. As he was driving to his roommate's house, authorities say Lloyd saw police cars driving toward the bank with their police lights activated. That scared him, so then he started throwing the money out the window, according to investigators. He also texted his roommate asking her to report her truck, which is what he was driving, as stolen, officials say. You already know the outcome here. But he got caught and fessed up the whole thing. He even acknowledged that he did the job by himself without input or help from others. Well, isn't that considerate? Lloyd is charged with bank robbery by force or violence in federal court. And honestly, if I was one of Lloyd's friends and he implicated me in this crime, I would just be insulted. I mean, who comes up with the idea to write a demand note on the back of your friggin' birth certificate? And in pink highlighter? You gotta use blue, man.
Modern medicine and better nutrition have human beings living longer lives, but technology and social media have human beings getting dumber and dumber. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reports that an iPhone connection helped police identify one of the 2 people involved in a carjacking in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. The victim told police 2 people followed her off a bus to her car and demanded her cell phone and keys. Police found the car a couple of hours later and said the people who were inside hopped out and ran. As the investigation unfolded, police said a clue came from within the stolen car, which showed a device named Daryl's iPhone was connected to the vehicle via Bluetooth. In addition to that, a high school security guard identified one of the suspects from bus surveillance video as 19-year-old Daryl Kamen Jr. An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Kamen, while the second suspect has not been identified at last word. Yep, technology is great because it helps catch criminals, but it's not so great if you are one.
Nice of the employee to make it so easy on these crooks. KSNB Local 4 reports that police in Grand Island, Nebraska are investigating an armed robbery at a local liquor store. According to the GIPD, an employee told officers that 3 younger-aged men wearing masks entered the store, brandished a handgun, and forced the employee to open up the cash register. The suspects emptied the contents of the register into a bag and took off, getting away with just under $4,000 in cash. They apparently also attempted to take the card reader from the register, but were unsuccessful. The GIPD said no shots were fired and released photos of the suspects. Here's where we find out about an added wrinkle to the story. In one of the photos, you can see the employee standing in front of an arcade machine as one of the suspects goes by him. As it turned out, that employee was playing a bank shot game machine and was not standing behind the registers, according to Police Captain Jim During. So, the suspects didn't point the gun at him, they just walked past him, went to the register, opened it up, and took the money. At last word, there were no confirmed suspects, and the case remained under investigation. Sounds to me like they might want to interview that employee.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. I mean, hey, my cat's gotta eat.